Hello, 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 everyone. This is Sarah Colada with Architecture Talk Tongue coming back after a bit of a break. We've been very busy organizing the next Disrupt Symposium, which is going to happen between the 1st and the 3rd of November. So if you haven't yet, go to www.disruptsymposium.com to check out the new lineup of speakers as well as get your tickets to join us. And today at Architecture Talk Tongue, I'm having again back with me Amanda Ferber. Super excited about it. We've actually connected years back. I still lived in Berlin the first time around, and Amanda also joined the first edition of Disrupt Symposium, where she spoke about the power of social media marketing for architects, specifically from the context of her own life journey and how she's come to essentially creates the Architecture Hunter, which today I think hand on heart is the biggest architecture Instagram, followed by many architects and also incredible celebrities, right? So Amanda, tell us a little bit about yourself perhaps and the journey, so that people can also get to know you more from your own in your own words.
Yes. First, thank you so much, Sarah, for the invitation. It's so nice to talk to you, like always. Since you were in Berlin and Disrupt Symposium, and now in your podcast. I love talking to you. It's so nice. So thank you for the invitation. And well, actually, yes. I mean, you mentioned also the like some famous people that follows our Texture Hunter, and to be honest, like when I created our Texture Hunter next year, we are completing 10 years already since the
Wow.
creation. Yes, and I really like never ever thought that someday uh, we were going to be this huge, you know. So now we have 3 million followers, but really, like when I created Texture Hunter, it was just like a hobby, just a hobby. I was in the first year of architecture school, and I used to save like lots of pictures of architecture, just like as references for schoolwork, you know. And one day I realized that I had like so many that I had to share this with the world. You know, I really thought like I literally thought the world needs to see this. So I decided to create an Instagram page, and I think this was nice because like Instagram was created in 2010, and Architecture Hunter, but like got more popular in 2012 more or less. So in 2013, when I created Architecture Hunter, it was like one of the first creatorship pages in Instagram. So it was one of the first one. So I believe that this is one of the reasons also that today is one of the biggest also in Instagram. So yes, I really didn't have a clue that this was going to happen one day.
Yeah, and that's amazing, really, because it's just been such a progression, and it's been also amazing to follow your journey. Because I know that you started working with Art Daily, and then sort of idea of starting this Instagram, and then at a very young age, been featured at Forbes and been invited to such incredible events to speak as well and contribute to the industry. And I think that with Instagram specifically, we kind of stepped into yet another modality of expression. And since architecture is very visual and it's all about aesthetics, like photography expresses it so well.
Yeah.
And it's almost a no brainer. I mean, it's like a next step. And you've been at the forefront of this. So that's really just been incredible. And tell us a little bit more about the different opportunities that came your way since you started Architecture Hunter.
That's really nice because actually, Architecture Hunter brought me some like personal opportunities, and also like at some point when I decided to really do something else with Architecture Hunter, like to actually start a business with this, uh, because of Architecture Hunter's profile on Instagram, we already had an audience. So of course, it was much more easier to do something with this, you know. But well, uh, starting on the this like personal experience that Architecture Hunter brought me, I think the most interesting one was definitely Art Daily, and it was because of Architecture Hunter. But before working on Art Daily, I also made an internship with Marcio Kogan, and he is like a Brazilian architect, and he was actually like my favorite architect. Um, and he's one of the most like contemporary Brazilian architects that are like so well known internationally, you know. So I really like I just can't believe that I made an internship there, because it's very hard to uh, uh, work there. They have like 30 people working there only. Like it's not a huge studio as you see like some other in other parts of the world. And well, Marcio was already following Architecture Hunter like since the beginning. And one day in an event, I met him, and I told him, "Oh, you follow Architecture Hunter? This is my page." I was like so shy, but I had to talk to him, you know. And then he invited me to go to his office, meet the team, and see like how everything worked there. And in the beginning, it was just like to meet the office, you know, the like it was not going to be an internship, but it ended up being an internship, and this was amazing. And then after this, like, and really like after working there, I realized that my passion was much more in the communication of architecture and design, and not actually like designing, you know. Because I when I was there, I don't know, I just felt like how people there were so incredible, and how everything there, like they did everything with so much passion. And I really thought that like would be amazing if like everyone else could understand how things work there. And I really thought that this could help everyone else like to know, to see like, and get inspired by not only the work but like the way they work, you know.
Sure.
So yeah, this made me realize that I really wanted to go like more in the communication with architecture, not designing. So I thought, okay, now I have to understand like how things work. And then Art Daily's page was already following Architecture Hunter's page on Instagram too. And actually, this opportunity to work in Art Daily kind of also happened because of Marcio Kogan. Because one day I was there, and then they made a special lunch for our daily team. And then we met in person, and they didn't know that uh, like just like an architecture student was behind Architecture Hunter.
Hmm.
uh, so when we were there, we met, and then like this, everything started in this lunch in Marcio Kogan actually, because then we connected, and then like some months later, I asked like if I could work there, if they had like an internship program or something, and then like I started working, and 2 years passed, and I worked there for 2 years, so it was amazing too, an amazing experience.
I love this. Absolutely love it.
Yeah.
And so I'm guessing that during this whole time when you were working with both the practice as an internship and Arc Daily, you kept running your Architecture Hunter profile. It's been 10 years, you said. There must be a really strong habit of daily putting energy into it. I don't think you have like Saturdays or Sunday breaks or whatever. I mean, you can't really take a break from content creation on Instagram. So tell us a little bit more about how you're managing this load of work. Is it just you? Do you have a team right now? And I think that one of the biggest issues that architecture practices and architects face when we're talking about posting and creating content for social media, it's like that regularity and how much time it takes. So a lot of times people feel like they don't have enough time to put that into their daily schedule. Perhaps you have some tips for us after doing it for 10 years.
Yeah, yeah, it's crazy. But like, of course, that I know. I think there's a difference between like having an architecture curatorship page and having your own like profile if you have an architecture practice, because you have to have like content, your own projects to post. So I know that there's a difference. Like it's maybe it's not that easy to have like every day something to post if you have an architecture practice. In my case, like it's literally like hunting for architecture. So
Yeah.
it's I think it's easier for us to um, have daily content. It's not easy, but I think I don't know. It's just different. Uh,
Mhm.
so yes, actually now we have a team, but I still I still post on the feed because it was my hobby, and still be. So I actually would be very sad if I didn't have time to post on Architecture Hunter's feed every day because I really love like hunting for architecture. And every time that I see a project that I think like it's amazing, I get like so excited, like, oh my God, I really have to post this. People are going to love this. And I get like, oh no, the next post is only tomorrow. So it's very genuine, to be honest. It's very
Mhm.
genuine. But now we have a team in Architecture Hunter too. It's not only me anymore, only myself anymore. So now we are in 13. Uh, it really grew like, also since
Yeah.
it was for the last time. Um, but it's because we also have the YouTube channel. So basically, like this team is more focused on audiovisual stuff, to film,
Mhm.
to edit everything, um, and also like because we do take our stories very seriously. Like we take it seriously as like articles in magazines,
Yeah.
So we have a team of two architects, actually one architect and an architecture student. She's an intern here too. Uh, and they do everything on stories. So like we select like what is it going to be the topic about of the day, and then Sophia, she's working with us now, and she writes everything. Like so she did the research on the topic. It can be like about an architect or about an architectural movement or about a piece of design, or art. I don't know. Like we really try to find different and interesting topics that we believe that our audience would like to see, and more than they would like, but that they needed to see.
Yeah.
So and then uh, Gabriella, that is Sophia's intern, she do the artworks, like find the photos and get this text, like all the text to do like an artwork for the stories. So we have this team, and we also are now working with some filmmakers, correspondents from like in different parts of the world. Of course, that like this is more difficult because since we're here based in Sao Paulo, Brazil, and we still have to have content from like all over the world. Uh, we had like to like see how things work. So we have this team here in Brazil, but like we also have these filmmakers, correspondents shooting from like all over the world. Like when we have something like a project to shoot. So yeah, it's I know it's crazy. Like if I met Amanda 10 years ago and I told me that this is going to happen, like never, just because of this Instagram page, I would never believe.
Yeah. I can
Yeah,
imagine that.
yeah.
Absolutely. So give us some tips as to some secrets or some good learning things from managing social media. What is important specifically for architects and practice owners? I think that a lot of people struggle with this, especially when you don't have enough projects or perhaps not good enough photography. Again, the timing of posting is very important. So what should people watch out for and learn from your experience?
Well, I think like talking to so many architects, I have already seen like so many different strategies, um, and well, the most important thing actually in social media is frequency. Like you have to have a frequency. I mean, if you are able to post every day, this is like the best option. But of course, like if you don't have enough content to post every day or even time, at least like 3 times a week, or but like the important thing is that like if you decide to post 3 times a week, do post 3 times a week. Don't go like a week without posting anything, and then you come back and start posting again. Frequency is actually, like, I think, the key. And this is very interesting too, that you mentioned that, like, sometimes people don't have, like, they don't have enough content to post every day. And what I think that, like, renders today are so realistic. They're like photorealistic. And uh, I've seen lots of, like, young architects designing works that, like, they are not for a client or something. It's just something that they create, and they use this as a content. Like, they do renders, and this is like a way of them to have, like, daily content. And I think this is a very nice strategy if you don't have enough work yet, if you're starting your practice or something. Because actually, this is even, like, maybe more strategic, because especially when you're starting, sometimes your projects, like, because of the client, it doesn't go, like, exactly how you want it to be. So to design something and to do a render about it is actually, like, a good strategy, because um, this way you are designing, like, exactly how you believe this should be, like, this project should be. So it's a nice strategy too.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Yeah, and
I
it
have
really shows like
an
your own
interesting story.
creativity.
Yes, I have an interesting story, like a study case of friend. Um, he was, like, recently graduated, and uh, he just created this Instagram page to post his renders. And then he used to work in a very nice studio here in São Paulo, Brazil. But he really wanted to have his own practice. So he created this profile that would going to be like his professional Instagram, and started posting renders. And then his first client came because of the profile. It was, like, in a different
Mm.
city in Brazil, and he had, like, an apartment, and he wanted him to redesign the apartment. So it was interesting because his first client came because of this profile that he created on Instagram to post his renders. So
Yeah,
I think it's a
absolutely.
very inspiring case too.
Yeah, it's super powerful. And I think for
Yeah.
client acquisition, for sure. But like you said before, I mean, showing your own ideas, because in a way with renders, you don't have so many restrictions of like structural. And,
Yeah.
people always, sometimes when we're like smaller practices, there is this way in which working with the client can change the design a little bit. And so the end result or the final photo that we work so hard for is not as fulfilling as our vision was at the beginning. And I
Yeah.
think that basically renders have that power to be able to just completely put forward the designer's vision,
Exactly.
and they can be done really, really well as well.
Yeah.
So renders. And then for stories, what sort of ideas would you encourage people to share? What do you find is perhaps mostly watched or people like the most? Is it something to do more with design, or is it something like human stories? Or curious to know about that.
Yeah. I think that showing, like, the behind the scenes of your work and stories is something very powerful, because um, people, like, tend to understand better, like, how hard your work is when you show the behind the scenes, not only the results. So I think it increases, like, even more value, like, it adds value to your work when, like, your potential client understand all the hard work that it is to actually design and, like, to get to this result. So because, like, our colleagues and people that work in architecture and design field, they know all the hard work that is behind, but, like, other people sometimes, like, usually they don't. So it's really nice to show the behind the scenes. And I think the nice thing also is uh, um, uh, to, like, to let people participate. So I saw one day an architect and doing some stories. And I think this was very interesting because she was actually an interior designer, and she was selecting some things for the client's apartment, and she made like a poll in the stories like, people help me, like which one do you prefer, like what do you like the most. And it was like so engaging. And I don't even know if she actually selected the one that people voted
Yeah,
but
yeah,
I don't know, just people felt part of it, so I
yeah.
think this is very, yeah, it connects, like get you closer to the audience, and people really feel that they are somehow listened by you, so I think this is nice, very nice too.
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's so great to be able to like have that extension in the community and
Yeah.
an audience to your designs, but also like this engagement. Sounds great.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit more about the projects that you're doing now. I know that you're growing your YouTube, and you mentioned that the team has grown around this as well. What is the content of YouTube, and why would people go to watch it?
Yeah. um yeah, so like I don't know, I believe so much in the power of entertainment, to actually like spread a message or something. And I just believe that, especially for architecture and design, is great, like films, videos, like audiovisual, it's great because I think that it just like add another layer, like an
Mhm.
emotional layer. Especially like when you have an interview with the architect and you're talking about the project, you really feel that their energy on it. It's different. Um, it's different, like from only seeing the pictures and reading what they write, what they wrote about the project. It's different. And I really had this feeling the first time that I visited a project here in São Paulo, because there was a project that like every student has to study here in São Paulo, because it's like a very nice casework and study case. And then I just really felt that I know everything about that project. And then one day the architects made like this tour in the project, and I went there, and then I realized that I actually like what I thought was like there is nothing like hearing the architect talk about their own work, even if you have already studied everything about it. So I don't know. I just think probably it's just this like emotional layer. So this is also why I wanted to start the YouTube channel, and also our future platform for videos too, because I think it's different and you really can learn from the like your colleagues' experience, So now we have like three formats of videos in our Texture Hunter. We are creating new stuff, but like these are the three that are more frequent, So we have one of the series is like in loco with, and then the name of the architect. So like in loco with Snowhita. I don't know. An idea is like for them to go with the project with us to explain every detail about it, And then the other one is the panorama of, and then the name of the project. So like panorama
Mhm.
of M House. I don't know.
Mhm.
Um, and in this format, we usually have like a model or an actress or actor to walk around the project, and this way we can like show to the audience like the experience of this architecture, and also like it's a nice way to like show the, like how shadows work and like the connection between spaces. And I really like panoramas because since like there is no one speaking, it's only the experience of like a human scale. uh, um, it's very like universal too, everyone can understand it, like there is no language barrier, so it's very nice too. And there was like a special week that we did once in Architecture Hunter, only like both in locals with architects speaking about their work. And I read a comment in the post in the video that was like, oh, please come back with the panoramas. I could watch them like all day. I sometimes leave panoramas just like on the TV, like just passing. And I don't know. I really love to realize that people actually understood like the difference of each format, and then there is this other third format that we're working and is more recent, but people are loving to, ASMR.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Yes.
like so this is like a type of video that, like, for those who don't know what ASMR is, and that is listening to us, it's like a type of videos that you only hear the sound of stuff. Like, so people do ASMR, I don't know, from like cutting a bread, I don't know, slicing a
Yeah,
bread, like
tapping their nails on the screen, or
yes,
you know,
exactly, random
like
stuff.
undoing the bubble wrap, and like
Yes, yes,
they're basically less satisfactory sounds that
yes.
people love to listen to.
Yeah, and I don't know, somehow it's just relaxing, to hear
Mhm.
this. So we started doing the silence of, and then the name of the project. So like silence of Diffin House, I think is the most popular one in our Tech Center's channel. Um, and it's like an ASMR. It's just like there is no one speaking, there is no soundtrack. It's just like the sounds of the house of the project. And I
Mhm.
don't know, it's just intriguing. Like when you're watching this type of videos, you just feel that you really are inside like the video,
Mhm.
like you are in that project. I don't know. I think like this is my perception, and this is something that people are really loving too. You know, I think we have two videos in Bali of
Yeah,
silence.
really.
Yeah, we a filmmaker sent to us, and we loved it, and we published it. I'm gonna send you later too. Uh,
Yeah, I'd love to see. Maybe there are like some buildings I can visit to see the
yes,
thing
yes,
like this with the sounds.
yeah. And I don't know, it's just being very interesting. Um, and now we're okay, working also in in a fourth format that is behind, and then the name of the project is like behind Zedeli. That like so this is going to be amazing. So there is this restaurant here in Sao Paulo called Zedeli, and it's very nice. Like it's like a sandwich shop, and but like the architecture is usually so interesting. And they're actually now building a new Zedeli. So we are filming like the behind the scenes, like the work, the architect like designing stuff. So this is another format that is going to be very nice too. And yeah, this is
I
something
love
like
this.
some of the things we've been doing. Yeah,
This is brilliant. So I'm guessing that in Brazil, most of the production happens within your team. But
yeah,
then you mentioned that people also send similar videos. So there are people that will find a building and they have some skills in filming, and they'll just go and create that sort of a video, like the ESMR videos or whatever, and send you that content. I
yeah,
love this. This is
yes,
amazing.
yes. It's
That's
it's
brilliant.
kind of like in an architecture hunter Instagram.
Yeah.
So like most of the content we hunt for it. It's like we find the projects, and then we get in touch with the architects or render makers or photographers to post it. But but lots of times also they send to us this material. And now it's been the same thing with the YouTube channel. Like since we're growing this audience there, some filmmakers are connecting to us to send their work, especially because usually like um, the architects hire them to make like a video of their project,
Mhm.
and usually this is just like for personal use, just for portfolio. And then it's just so sad because it's like lots of work to make the video, and they don't have like anywhere else to share this content.
Yeah, exactly.
So yeah, so like usually we try to see if like the videos kind of fit into one of these formats, and if they do, we just add like letterings in our font and everything, and of course like if the filmmaker agree, and then we publish. So yeah, our channel is kind of like our own producing, but also a creatorship of videos too.
Yeah. which
Yeah.
kind of also originated like this with the profile on Instagram, because you gave the essence to it, and then it sort of is like this self-fulfilling prophecy, or like this, you
Yeah.
know, the snowball that is coming down of the mountain, and it's just people now understanding where to go if they want to get published their work. And I think
Yeah.
that tapping into one of those formats that you guys kind of publish is a great way for practices to get their projects out there, in this creative way. And
Yeah.
interestingly enough, we had this really cool comment here. Luciana said, "I'm loving Architecture Hunter on YouTube. They are
Oh,
creating beautiful videos of the projects, so we have the chance to experience architecture in a deeper way than the pictures can show."
oh my God, that's so nice. Thank you, Luciana.
Yes, this is lovely.
Yeah.
Um, so obviously, this is definitely adding to the value and the experiential element of how we can, talk and share architecture.
Yeah.
There are renders, there are photos, but that video and also with sounds, it's a brilliant idea. I love this.
Yeah. Thank you. Thank you. So happy.
Excellent. Thank you so much as well. So, you spoke at the last Disrupt Symposium. We had a presentation about social media for architects and gave us a really great, sets of examples as well and advice. Tell us a little bit more how you found the whole experience of being part of Disrupt Symposium. You were one of the great supporters of our first edition.
Mm.
And the next edition is coming up just a few weeks from now, 1st to the 3rd of November. So tell us, how was it for you to be a part of it?
It was so interesting, so nice, especially because I was able to also listen to other architects and like everyone that you invited to be part of this first edition. And it was amazing. It was amazing, especially because I was like also in a panel. So um, to hear other people experience on the same topic is also very nice, and I think it's necessary, I really like this is that's why I created Architecture Center, to share everything that we learn, to learn from other people's experience. So I think that this initiative of making this Rep Symposium is just like something that the world's really need, and this is powerful. People get inspired by other people. It's amazing, like not only to see the result, it's actually the same thing that we were talking about the videos, and
Exactly.
when you're showing the behind the scenes, the same thing like when you're talking about your work and your experience, it's just powerful. And I think like with internet nowadays, this is just it got more easy to connect with everyone, to hear people, and I don't know. I just think this is a very nice initiative, and I'm very happy to know that you're going to have this second edition in this year already. So congrats, Sarah,
Thank you.
for everything. This is very nice. Yeah.
Yeah, it's been absolutely a great journey. We did so many exciting things ever since, and so much more travels for me. Also, growing the team around it. But I think that one of the most powerful things was to actually realize with all the speakers how much value they were getting out of it, especially when we organized the edition in Athens, and it was actually a physical event. And a lot of the people that actually participated outside of the general audience were people that worked together with the speakers within their offices. And a lot of them were in leadership roles. And so it sort of ended up being this gathering of leaders that are doing business perhaps slightly differently, but in the same geolocation,
Yeah.
facing the same exact challenges of like client acquisition and perhaps like market obstacles, and whether the general public realizes your value, and materials and cost and delivery, and even transportation, things like that. And talking about growing teams and losing people and retention, and and social media, and how to build a brand that is like based on a niche and is interesting and really has like an ethos and a way to change the world. And each and every individual kind of sees business differently because their values lays in a different place. But with time, it's so interesting to open that floor to discuss those strategies, because oftentimes we do business, we talk about design, we talk about the outcome of our work, but we don't talk about exactly how we're getting there,
Yeah.
whether it's through like the teams, or it's through through certain business decisions that we take, as to who to work with, how to price ourselves, who to advertise, why are we going to be providing innovation around sustainability, and how we're going to sell that to the client and all that stuff. So there is a lot of really interesting approaches, and I think that it's kind of the first time really we get an opportunity for people to come and speak about it. And so
Mhm.
that is very powerful in its own right, because people are learning from one another at every single stage, whether they're already running big practices and they're leaders and they're successful or not. And then the
Mhm.
other element, and you said that, that currently internet just like enables us to come together globally and really share and have that sort of intimate feeling, like us here, it feels like we're sitting in the same room, and yet we're on the
Yeah.
other two ends of the world, Brazil and Bali. um,
Yes.
but bottom line being is that, like, it was really important to allow for that sort of moment where the audience can ask questions to every speaker and interact amongst
Yeah.
themselves, and then to have a really lengthy like a Q&A and a sort of networking session at the end, where we can discuss some issues and we can have people come to stage, like the participants, and raise their hand and speak about where they're coming from and the roles in their companies, and where they're getting and what inspires them and what else they feel they want to learn. So it's just been like the collaboration and the sort of feedback from people has been probably the most powerful, and like it's kind of
Yeah.
why this is happening.
Yeah.
So I know that you get a lot of that feedback too, and I think that that's great with creating content, is that you can open up to hear and listen to voices of people, and actually get guidance as to how to do things better as well.
Yeah. Exactly.
That's
Exactly.
Yeah. Oh my God. Thank you so much, Amanda, for joining me today. It was amazing to see you again and to host
Yeah.
you. And, this is the first time you're on Architecture Talk Tank, but it's been really great to talk a little bit about Architecture Hunter and your journey and the incredible successes. Best of luck with the YouTube and all the new projects. And I'm really looking forward to seeing more from you. It's
Yeah.
exciting new content, and I'm sure it's gonna grow. And yeah, and thank you so much for your contribution.
No, thank you, Sarah. Thank you for everything, for the invitation, for always thinking of me to talk and everything that you do. So it's been great to follow everything that you've been doing. So thank you so much for connecting again. It's great to see you.
Likewise.
Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you
Thank you.
so much to the audience as well. And just before you go, a quick reminder, if you haven't checked it out yet, please go to www.disruptsymposium.com. The next Disrupt Symposium Business of Architecture event is happening between the 1st and the 3rd of November. We're streaming live from a film studio in Bali this time round, and we are going to be it's a virtual event, a global virtual event. So we are streaming at evening time European and UK, and sort of morning lunchtime in America. Therefore, this way we're at least hoping to cover this bigger part of the world, and then the Asias can connect at night. I am going to be streaming this time around in the middle of the night because I'm in Bali and we rented a studio in Bali. So if you guys are interested in this topic, you can get up at night and join me. I'm also going to be on a strong coffee going through the night. So there's no excuse if you're in Australia or in China.
Yes. What time is it right now there?
Right now it's like almost 7 p.m.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
the sun is
almost
down
8,
and
8 a.m.
the day is over,
Yeah.
and the same exact day is just starting in America. So
Yeah, exactly. Here too, like now we started at 7 a.m. here, and now it's
yeah,
almost 8 a.m. in São Paulo.
yeah, exactly.
So, yeah,
11th of
11
October,
hours.
it's over for
Yeah.
me.
Yeah. Uh,
Awesome. Well,
okay.
thank you so much again, Amanda. All
Thank
the
you.
best.
You too. Good night for you.
Thank you.
Bye.